Hello and welcome to the monthly Q&A for January. If you would like to get your question answered in a Q&A like this one, then head on over to ask.fm/Sharmalade and I will do my best to answer your question as long as it's not too rude. Question number 1. This is from Isabella Quinns. If Blizzard told you that they want to create a WoW character in your honour that would resemble you, which NPC would you like him to be? Maybe a quest giver, a raid boss, or some royal mage? That's a really good question. I've always hoped and dreamed that my character might become a part of World of Warcraft. I mean, that would be epic. And in fact, my character is not in the game. But what event is it? I think it might be the Halloween event. But there used to be, and there might still be, a character that is like the spit of Sharm, and it's outside Stormwind. But this was like way back when it was the old WoW models, and Arwell pointed it out to me, and there's a picture of it on my Facebook. So I'll put a picture in here somewhere and show you the Sharm standing outside Stormwind for the Halloween event. I think it's the Halloween event, and then my character Sharm, and they're like the spitting image of each other. But my dream would be like to be some kind of bard in an inn. That would be like the nuts, yo. But there was an expansion, Warlords of Draenor, and I can't remember the zone. I think it was like Storm Shield, Storm Haven, Storm Hyde. I can't remember the place, but there was an inn there, and there was a character who there is a character who sings in that inn, and it's lovely. And I have stood next to that NPC a couple of times and listened to what she plays, and it is really, really beautiful. And I would love to be like immortalised as a bard or some kind of singer in a game. That would be awesome. What caused you to make World of Warcraft parodies? Which one was your favourite to sing? From Elena Gertzek. What caused me to make World of Warcraft parodies? Okay, so nothing. Like, I've always enjoyed singing. I've always been like an active singer from a very, very young age. So singing was always in my blood, and it was always my childhood dream to be a singer. And basically I started playing World of Warcraft when I was like maybe 20, 21, 20. And I was just very inspired by the game. I thought it would be funny to use one of my karaoke tracks that I already had on my computer to create a song about an axe and how I tried to sell it. And it was my first ever song. I think it was called the Trade Channel Song or something. And it's awful. But I really enjoyed making it, and I put it onto my YouTube channel, which at the time was literally just a channel that I was making playlists on to listen to music and stuff. And just from kind of that, it grew. Although it didn't grow from that video. Like, that wasn't like the big video on my channel at the time. I made a World of Warcraft girls movie where I put an Evanescence song to this World of Warcraft cinematic trailer bit, and just featured like the female characters in it, and that got like 100,000 views like quite quickly, and I didn't even really notice because it wasn't something that I was actively looking out for. But then when I put the Trade Channel song up, that's when people started to come to me and say, let's do this, and let's collab on this, and let's do this song. And it was very, very addictive, and I found that singing parodies was something that brought me a lot of joy. And it was never about the numbers for me. It was about how exciting it was to think of the next parody and the next song that I wanted to do. And then eventually I started going into covers and sort of more original things as my voice began to grow, and I I mean, just more and more passionate about singing, and it was just something that over time I just thought, you know what, this is so me, this is what I was born for, this was what it's in my blood, and I need to do it. But my favourite one to sing, my favourite parody to sing, that is such a hard one. There's so many. I've sang so many World of Warcraft songs, I'm really struggling to think of which one is my most favourite one to sing. I guess Why Can't I Raid, although it's heavily auto-tuned, like crazy auto-tuned, I actually really enjoy singing that one. I don't wanna do this anymore, stand around and cry in Iron Forge. Every time you tell me I can't read, my heart, my soul, my feelings start to break. Counting all the guilties I can see, hoping there might be a place for me, but I'm still here on standby every night. That was impromptu. Does your guild accept other fans? Now this is like quite a big question, because through certain MMOs I've created guilds and I've always been kind of concerned, like as much as I want members and I want to grow and I want to have enough people to raid and things like that, I've always been very concerned and wary of advertising that I have a guild, because I want to play a game. If I'm logging on, I want to log on to play, and I'm really not great with people who like kind of over compliment, and I mean I know that they just mean well and they're just sort of saying like nice things, but I find it to be kind of very distracting and overwhelming, and so I get concerned that if I sort of say, like, oh, I've got a guild and we need this and this, like please come and join, I do get concerned that the people that are going to join, like if I advertise on my YouTube channel, like it's different if I'm advertising in game because I don't use the name Sharm, so when I'm outside of the game, like with social medias, it makes me wary because I don't want to invite like clusters of people who are going to log on and kind of, I know this sounds stupid, but like idolise me in a way. Like I don't want that, I'm not interested in that. Like I would love for you to join the guild because you need a guild and you want somewhere that's fun and a little bit crazy and where you're going to have a good time, where you're going to down bosses and do content together. So fans, viewers can join my guild, like any guild that I'm in, you're more than welcome to join. But just know that I'm not interested in you joining to sort of be talking to me about, overly talking to me. You can talk to me about my songs and stuff, but just not overly talk to me about it, because there are a few people in the past that have joined guilds and they've just been like, every time I've logged on, like, what are you working on next? What's your next song? Listen to my lyrics. Can you go and check these lyrics out? What do you want to collab together? And it just becomes so like overwhelming that there was a point where I just quit WoW because of it, because it was just like not fun anymore, kind of logging on to answer questions, and it sounds kind of like ungrateful and it probably is, but I play the game to play the game, as a lot of people, you all play the game to play the game and I just would rather have fun and not be sort of doing a Q&A every time I log into a game. What realm are you on in WoW? I'm on Airy Peak, which is an EU server, and it's a lot of people used to say it was dead, but I don't feel that it's that dead. The cities are pretty populated and there's always something going on, and now you can do this cross-realm stuff anyway, so it doesn't really make a difference. What caused you to take hiatus from WoW back when Legion was announced? From Elena Gertzek. Oh, it's Elena Gertzek again. Is it hiatus? Hiatus. I took a break from WoW when Legion was announced because I'd been playing through Warlords of Draenor and I just got bored. I got bored really, really quickly in Draenor. I think I lasted maybe a month and then I was out of there. And I think also I get like I want to start playing other games. And when I took a 2-year break from World of Warcraft, it was after like a sort of maybe 8 years of playing, and I took a 2-year break, and I cannot stress enough how WoW was so life consuming for me for those 8 years, and to come away from it and discover other games like Dragon Age, you know, and playing through that series and just exploring like Kingdoms of Amalur and loads of other, I just got into so many different games that, and I learned to stop comparing these games to World of Warcraft and just enjoy them. And the 2-year break did me so good because I really enjoyed just playing all these other games and getting into them, and it really did open my eyes that WoW shouldn't be something that is so consuming, and I can just do it and not feel this like rush of gotta get that achievement, gotta get that, and gotta get this pet, and gotta get that mount and get my rep up with that faction. Like, I was always rushing, and like, you know, like when you get the seasonal events, I was always like, I have to get it done in this year, like it has to be done on this event because otherwise it will just bug me. But I'm really not like that with WoW anymore, and that break did me really good. And when I came back to Legion, it was with Ian, and Ian had stopped playing in Draenor pretty much as well. So when Ian comes back and plays games with me, it just makes it 10 times better for me, because I don't like sitting on my computer and playing on my own. I feel like it's kind of really antisocial if he's not playing a game and I'm playing a game. So he came back raiding in Legion, and we re-rolled Demon Hunters, and it was like playing WoW in the vanilla days again, like when we first started playing WoW. It was so great, like, and it still is. Like, I'm actually kind of playing between Final Fantasy and like online and World of Warcraft, so I have got 2 subs going at the moment, but I log on for raiding and playing with my raid team because I love that about WoW. I love the fact that Dude and I have got this guild with a bunch of people in it who are just so awesome, and it is so social, and we're all on Discord and we're all chatting, and we all click, and I love that about World of Warcraft, and that's why I always keep coming back to do my raiding. And then other nights I'll play my Final Fantasy and sort of hang out with the FC, the free company, and that, and so there's a bit of alternation going on. But I think it's so important to have that and not be so hell-bent on World of Warcraft being like the be-all and end-all, and also to stop comparing everything to WoW, because when you get past that stage you can start to really appreciate playing other games rather than just being like, oh, they do that in WoW, they stole that from WoW, oh my god. Do you prefer healing, tank or damage? And that's also from Elena Gertzek. Okay, so I hate tanking. I can't tank. I'm actually a tank in Final Fantasy right now. I can't do it. It doesn't mesh with me. I can't tank for shit. I also can't tank in World of Warcraft. I'm a terrible tank in that. I'm incredibly squishy and I just don't do it. I do have a tank character. She's like level 91 Death Knight called Grimoire. What an awesome name. But I don't play her because I can't tank. I'm rubbish at it. When I came back to Legion, I played a melee DPS, which is so random for me because I'm normally ranged or healer. Like, there's no 2 ways about it. Ranged or healer, nothing else. But I came back as a demon hunter, and so I started to learn for the first time probably ever in World of Warcraft how to play melee DPS. And I really enjoyed it, and it was something new, and it was something, like, because it was new, it was fun to get my teeth into it. But I prefer, if I'm going to be a DPS, to be a ranged, because I just like feeling like I'm out of the fray and I've got a bigger viewpoint of what's going on, and my reactions aren't great, so it's nice to be able to sort of preempt anything that's going to happen. But when I made my Demon Hunter, I played her for maybe a month, and then I was like, no, I need to go back to my lovely healers. I've got a priest, a monk, a shaman, a paladin, which I don't ever play, so I don't really know what paladin healing's like, but I absolutely adore healing, and it's my go-to with everything. And in Final Fantasy there's like 3 or 4 different healing classes, and I've pretty much leveled all of them, which was a huge mistake because now I have to level all the shit classes now. But healing is like my favourite thing to do in a game. What are some of the races in WoW you've never played? Personally, I recommend Worgen. Lovely atmosphere. It is so beautiful, and I remember when I started levelling my Worgen, they get a staff, which is pretty early on in their quest line, and it's still in their zone area. And it's beautiful. It like drops roses and stuff. It's really, really sweet. But classes that I've never played, I've never played a Tauren. I've never played an Orc. I think it's mostly Horde because I'm Alliance, but I think I've played everything else. I played Goblin for like maybe a couple of weeks, but I absolutely adore dwarves. Like, I just think they're the cutest thing, and I race changed. I've mentioned this before, but I race changed to my Night Elf monk. She used to be a dwarf, and I race changed her to Nelf because of the bloody Suramar. BS. Like, as a dwarf, I just kept dying, and I had nothing. Like, I was a monk, all I could do was roll and hope to find a basket to get into or get out of combat. But as a night elf, you've got shadow meld, and it is such a lifesaver in Suramar. But I miss my dwarf. I'm thinking about race changing her back, but it's freaking expensive. So that is it for this month's Q&A. I'm having to keep it shorter than my last ones because I'm running out of questions. So please, if you've got a question that you want to ask me about anything, head on over to r.fm/Sharmalade, and I will do my best to answer your question. Have a wonderful week, everyone, and I will see you next Monday for the weekly vlog. Have a wonderful week. Bye. Why did I do that? Bye.